Hello everyone and welcome back to APPF1 Tier 2 commentary. We're here in Brazil today for the sprint week. So we're going to have one-shot qualifying followed by a sprint race followed by the main 50% race. So we're going to be straight into the action. There's no formation lap either, so for today due to problems that we had with it in Tier 1. So it's going to be very quick to get into the action today. So hold on to your seats and get ready for what's sure to be a fantastic race here in Brazil. So here we go for one-shot qualifying. We're going to get all our telemetry enabled and we're going to ride on board with... where's the championship leader? Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? There he is. Right on board with the championship leader, Aces versus Kings. He's currently P4 as we go through Sector 1. Jack Alaco sitting on pole position with Palang going up to pole briefly through turn 4, but only briefly. Rafferrari up there as well in the Williams. He's shown some decent qualifying form last week. But Aces a poor line through turn 6 and loses him a few places. Braked a bit too late for turn 7 as well as he comes through the second sector. Hello to Scott in the chat supporting Aces, but he's not on the money with his qualifying lap so far in this one-shot quali session. He's down in P7. It's Palang who's on pole position right now as they go through, and Aces has messed up the final corner completely. He's round. The championship leader is round. MCL has had a nightmare of a quali as well. He's invalidated, in fact. It's going to be Mr. J-Man coming to the line, who's going to take pole position for the Brazilian sprint race. Jack Alaco only a couple hundredths behind, and Palang a 10th behind that. Very close times. RJ up there in P4, Robsu up in P5. Great lap from him as well. Fascinating one-shot quali. Both Hasses at the back of the grid. That is a huge shock. We'll see if they can recover. They've got plenty of time to do it, but very big shock for those two Hasses. It's Mr. J-Man who takes pole position by 17 thousandths from Jack Alaco, who just about misses out on 2 poles in a row. Palang takes P3 with RJ alongside him on the second row. Then Robsu up in P5, Lucasro P6. Good quali from him after getting shafted by that awful child last week. Lawrence and Alex on the 4th row, with Rafferrari joining Krauser on the 5th row. Mania down in P11, poor quali for AlphaTauri as well. Sumo in P12, and then Tier and Aces having mistakes on their laps, with MCL invalidating. It's a Haas back row, which is not what we're used to saying this season. So let's find out if they can get themselves back into this. They've got a long time to do it. They've got a sprint race and the main race to do it, but they've got to stay patient, especially MCL. He's on 7 penalty points. He can't afford to hemorrhage any more of those, so he's got to be careful as he picks his way through the pack. So we'll see how that goes. Aces will charge. Lewis 2021-esque, says Scott. Well, we shall see. Maybe he'll get up to the front and then Lawrence will shove him off at turn 4. But here we go. 5 red lights. And we're underway for the Brazilian sprint race. It's a good start from Mr. J-Man at the front of the field with Jackalacco just alongside. Palang gets an absolutely atrocious start. He's down to P8. Someone's round. That's Lawrence. Lawrence, the defending champion, is round at turn 1 and he's all the way to the back as the Hasses and the Hasses try and make their way back up as well as Jackalacco making a move on Mr. J-Man into turn 4 to the lead of this race as RJ's there in P3 as well, standing by. Krauser's round at turn 4 in the Alpha Tauri. He's now down to last place as they continue to try and fight their way up. These Hasses, MCL now up to P10 and going down the inside of Mania, and oh, there's contact. He's stuck his nose in where it shouldn't have been and he's paid the price. He's lost that position to Tier. Is he going to dive bomb Tier at the next corner? No, he decides against it this time and he stays down there in P11. We've got Tier, Referrari and Robsu, the only ones on the mediums. I think the mediums are marginally the better tyre in the sprint. Personally, I went softs for both Tier 1 and Elite and I regretted it. I think mediums are the way to go, but here comes MCL now on Tier looking for another position. Jackalacco at the front of the field, Palang into the pits, sustaining wing damage early on, but here comes the Haas of MCL to the outside of Tier. Tier breaks very late. Mania's trying to get his way through as well. MCL just about holding on as he goes all the way around the outside and then the inside for turn 3. And it's a fantastic move from MCL up to P7. What's happened? What's happened? What's happened? Luke Castro's lagged. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh, what is happening? What is happening now? What on earth is going on? Hang on. Let me check the Discord. What on earth is happening? What on earth is happening? Why is Luke Castro showing at the back of the grid? Why are there yellow flags? Why is everyone going so slowly? Palang's gotten a drive through. Obviously a VSC, but Lucas Rowe something's happened to Lucas Rowe, which is absolutely gutting for him. It's not at all what he deserves after the disaster of last week. MCL up to P6 in the meantime, getting past Sumo. What a recovery so far from the Haas driver. Up to P6 already and challenging all the way up there as Jacko and Mr. J-Man swap places again. DRS enabled on this lap. J-Man breaks extremely late for turn 1 and barges Jacko out the way. Jacko still has the inside. RJ hits the back of Jacko trying to get the better exit. But I don't think there's any damage done to the Alpine. They're 3 seconds ahead of the chasing pack already, these three. And Jacko round the outside. RJ trying to make it a double overtake on Mr. J-Man. J-Man breaks late for turn 4 and sweeps down the inside of Jacko. Fantastic move from J-Man. He's up back into the lead of this sprint with Jackalacco just behind him and RJ there as well. I've still got no idea what's happening to Lucas Rowe, why he's in the pits, what is going on with that Ferrari. Something's gone horribly wrong with the game, but no idea what's happening there. But it's Mr. J-Man in front at the moment. Alex G 2 seconds behind these guys as MCL makes more progress down the inside of Robsu this time. They're still side by side as they go through turn 11. Robsu breaks extremely late. It's far too late. MCL gets the switch back as a result. He's going to have the better exit. Robsu's going to have the better tyres later on, but here comes MCL down the inside. Jacko should have taken the legal Max Verstappen defensive move, says Scott. Well, he's decided to keep it relatively okay for now. Jacko and Mr. J-Man scrapping again through turn 3. J-Man on the inside. It's RJ now trying to get both of them on the exit of turn 3 and he's done it. What a move from RJ Blair. He's up to P1 is the American and these three continue to scrap it out as Alex G catches them up as a result of all this. He's only 1.5 seconds behind them and this is all playing into the hands of this man MCL, the Spaniard in the Haas, as he continues his recovery after invalidating and qualifying. And now within moments he's going to be in the DRS train for the front of the field. As here he goes, Lupper join the session. You should be able to get in for the second race, for the main race. Yeah, you should be able to. But as they come through the final corner, MCL right behind Robsu, still not able to overtake as of yet, though, as Mania getting past Tier in the meantime. Must have been a big mistake from the British driver. He's down to P8, he's a long way behind. No line, please, Lupper. And have you done... I'm guessing you haven't done any practice for Brazil with no line. But Alex... now in the DRS of Jacko, those top 3 battling has brought everyone else into it, and now it's a top 6 in this DRS train, and the sprint just got a whole lot better. We're nearly nearing the halfway point of it already, but it's RJ in front at the moment in that Alpine, with Mr. J-Man and Jacko chasing, and Alex G, Robsu and MCL joining the party ever so slowly. You don't know any braking points. Why have you not done any practice for no line for Brazil? It's one of the easiest tracks with no line. All you had to do was 2 laps. But anyway, Mania coming through sector 2 now. He's about 3 seconds off that top 6, with Tier 1.5 seconds behind, trying to catch up after his blunder last lap, and then big gaps for the rest of the pack. I still don't know what's happened to Lucas Rowe. Something horrible, some massive glitch has happened to him. I feel for him, really do. But here comes Mr. J-Man on the outside of RJ. Doesn't make the move into turn 1. What about turn 2 and 3 on the exit? Here he goes down towards 4. He's going to have the DRS again. It's 3.5 tenths, so I don't think he's close enough. And no, he stays behind. RJ's straight line speed looking pretty good at this point, but he's got only 45% or so in that battery. Mr. J-Man on 90%, Jacko on 60%, then Alex G running low as well, Robsu running extremely low, MCL also running extremely low. So Mr. J-Man in the driving seat here right now as we hit the halfway point of the sprint. Lawrence sets the fastest lap, but that's not going to matter in the sprint. He's going to start all the way towards the back for the main race, and he's not going to get any points to show for it. Disastrous sprint for the defending champion as MCL gets on the grass going into the final corner. Nearly loses the rear. But Lapa, look, I'll take you through the braking points after the sprint. Just bear with me. Mr. J-Man on the outside of RJ. Can't quite make the move into turn 1. He's going to try again for turn 2. But again, RJ just gets that better exit out of 3, and there's nothing that the McLaren driver can do. And this DRS train continues. Palang now setting the fastest lap from the back. But of course, on those fresh, soft tyres, it makes perfect sense as Alex continues to stay with them. Robsu right behind. He's looking very strong, Robsu. He's on those medium tyres. He's going to be a lot better than these guys in front of him towards the end of the sprint. Lucas, what on earth happened to you? What on earth happened to you? I'll get you an invite in a second, mate. RJ, though, leading the pack. Mr. J-Man still can't find a way past this Alpine, but that ERS isn't going to last forever. Your connection left the chat. That's such a shame. But yeah, here we go. RJ using the ERS, but so is J-Man, so we could have an overtake here into turn 1, but no, J-Man eases off. He wants to save that ERS for the last few laps when RJ is at his most vulnerable. It's clever racing from Mr. J-Man. Great mature driving at the moment with 5 laps to go in this sprint race. Can J-Man do anything to RJ on this lap? It doesn't look like it, and this DRS train goes on, but Robsu is getting those tyres in the right window now compared to the softs. Those softs are going to be screaming at this point. They're going to be hollering by lap 12. I should know, I've been on them for 2 sprints already, and it wasn't pretty. But Robsu coming around, nearly loses it there on the exit of turn 7, just about keeps it going, and MCL just has to wait behind again. He must be getting frustrated now. He made so much progress so far in this sprint, but it's been halted at the back of this long DRS train now. Nothing he can do at the moment to make any progress, especially when he's only got 35 or 40% ERS left compared to the other guys who have similar amounts of battery in front of him. But Jacko and Mr. J-Man a huge advantage on ERS at the moment. Mr. J-Man getting a better exit than Jacko out the final corner. But Alex not interested in making a move into turn 1. Neither is J-Man. 4 laps to go in this sprint race. And it's RJ who leads. I'm just going to quickly... There is no formation lap, Lupper, so good luck with that. But Mr. J-Man coming down towards turn 4. The formation lap was broken in turn 1, so we haven't put it on for this race. But Tier getting past Mania in the meantime. He's recovered back. He was 1.5 seconds behind the AlphaTauri a few laps ago, and he's back now up to P7. He's doing a good job in that Ferrari, but these gaps are getting closer and closer now. I'm going to quickly send Lucas Rowe an invite. There we go. You should have got one now as Jackalacko sends it to the inside of Mr. J-Man on the exit. On the entry to the next corner, can't quite get it done, but that's going to slow down J-Man, and it's going to be good news for RJ Blair, and Alex hits the back of Jacko and causes chaos behind him. There's 4 cars wide as they go towards turn 1. Jackalacko's lost 4 spaces, and MCL's round, he's out. MCL's out, Alex is out as well. What has happened there? We've got a safety car with 3 laps left to go in the sprint race. Alex and MCL both crashing out. It was always going to be dicey to have that many cars so close together. But that is not a good collision for Alex or MCL. MCL is going to be furious in particular because after all of that progress he made, Alex is going to be disappointed because he was having a great sprint race until then. But we've got a safety car with 3 laps to go, which means it will be in at the end of... wait, hang on, this is... Oh yeah, this is weird because it came out just before they finished lap 9. So that means it's... Whoa, what's going to happen here? The safety car's coming through Sector 2. This is going to be really weird, actually, because they're not going to be able to catch up to it. It's going to come in this lap, and the game's not going to let them catch up. This is going to be weird. Very, very weird. I have no idea what's going to happen here. I haven't seen this before. But, yeah, I'm really unsure how this is going to work. It's definitely going to be in this lap. I hope no one gets disqualified. Mylander wanted to race. Yeah, seems like it. Please, no one hit the safety car and get themselves disqualified. Yeah, safety car in this lap. It's as I thought would happen. So, we've got green flags across the field, and I don't know if these guys are racing or not. I really do not know what's happening here. This is unprecedented. I've never seen this before. It's really bad timing for the safety car to come out because the game's gotten very confused because it has to come in at the end of lap 10 to allow 2 laps of racing. That's how the game's coded. But obviously, because they'd already come on to lap 10, there was nothing... the game just kind of registered it as not coming out at all, and oh god, that was weird. I'm glad no one disqualified themselves. But yeah, Alex is saying in the Discord that he hit the grass and couldn't stop in time for the final corner, but what happened next, no idea how him and MCL both ended up in the wall there. But here we go, on to the final lap of the sprint race. Sorry, Mr. J-Man's going to have DRS. He's going to use all of his battery as well to try and get RJ in towards turn 1. RJ loves this track, absolutely adores Brazil. He's going to want to get this sprint race victory. But Mr. J-Man hounding him through turn 1 is going to try and get the better exit through turn 2. But again, RJ beats him on the power on the exit. And Mr. J-Man's now going to have a huge difficulty in getting past him for turn 4. And he can't. And all of that time under the yellow flags has allowed RJ to save up ERS. But he's not got a lot left for the final straight here, as Ace is 6 seconds behind Tier, so no points for him for this sprint either. Tier's going to get a point. Sumo's going to get 2 points from this one unless Tier gets him down towards turn 4. Here comes the Ferrari. Can he make the move? Yes, he can. It's a good move from Tier. He's up to P7, but Sumo's still going to snatch a point. Both AlphaTauris are in 5th and 6th somehow. They've really profited from this. It's going to be good points for them. Robsu in P4 as well, doing very, very well. But it's RJ and J-Man as they go down towards the line for the final time. Can J-Man get RJ here? RJ's going to run out of ERS before the end of the straight, but is there enough time for J-Man to get him before the line? No, there isn't. RJ wins the sprint race in Brazil. Mr. J-Man comes home in second. Jackalacco in P3 with Robsu a very strong P4 on the mediums. Mania and Krauser 5th and 6th. Good stuff for the two AlphaTauris. Tier, unless Tier can get him at the line, but he's got no ERS left, so that's definitely out of the question. Tier P7. Sumo's going to finish a gallant P8 and get himself a point. Aces versus Kings in P9, and then it's going to be Lawrence, the two Williams, Rafferrari and Palang. I don't know what happened to Rafferrari in this one, and then Lucas are obviously disconnecting. I hope he's back in the session. I didn't notice in the notification pop up for him to be back in, so hopefully he is back in. But Lucas Rowe out the final corner, and he's going to finish in P13. So it's RJ who takes the sprint race victory ahead of Mr. J-Man, with Jackalacco in P3, Robsu in P4, good result for him. Both AlphaTauris 5th and 6th, and then Tier recovering to P7, Sumo in P8, and then Aces down in P9, could only recover to there eventually. Lawrence in P10 as well. Terrible races for both of them and for MCL who DNFs along with Alex. They'll start from the back. Rafferrari and Palang in the Williams 11th and 12th, and then Lucasro in P13. So we head to the main race. It's going to be RJ on pole position with Mr. J-Man alongside. But big chance for Jackalacco, who didn't think he would even make it to this race today in Tier 2, but he's here nonetheless. And his title challenge far from over. MCL is going to have to come from the back again for the second race. The second race running, after coming from the back in the sprint as well, and then DNFing with 2 laps to go. That's a tricky one. A tricky one for him, a tricky one for Aces. Both Hasses have a lot of work to do. Lawrence has a lot of work to do as well. Going to be a fascinating Grand Prix, and we're about to get going. 5 red lights. And we're off for the Brazilian Grand Prix. It's a good start from RJ from pole position. It's as Mr. J-Man can't get alongside into turn 1. RJ takes the lead. There's a lot of position changes going on. Most people starting on the hards. No idea what's going on across the grid. From the back of the grid, I don't know how he's managed that. Lawrence is up to P6 as well. What a start for the Aston Martin driver. Jackalacco down the inside of Mr. J-Man for turn 4. Can he make the move stick through turn 5? Yes, he can. He's up to P2. Great stuff from the Scottish driver. Robsu holding steady in P4. Lawrence up 4 places. Alex up 6 places. Sumo down 8. He must have had a spin at some point in the first sector. Disaster for him. Lucas are up 4 as well. Great stuff for him. I really hope he has a good race today after he was unfairly taken out last week. But Rafferrari up 1 as well. Aces down 2 as It's not been a good start to his recovery in this race. MCL up 2 already as he looks to make it 3 down the inside of Tier for the last corner. Loses the rear a little bit on the exit, but does get that place. I don't think Tier's going to fight him too hard in that Ferrari. As RJ is saying the fastest lap and Tier into the pits. In fact, that's why he didn't fight. He's got front wing damage again, and he's going to have to hope for a safety car in this race. But it's Lawrence now up to P5 already. What a start for him and Alex G as well. Absolutely incredible starts for both of them. I would love to see their POVs of those first few corners, but it's Alex looking for the move on Mania now for P7. He's looking pretty quick today. He scored a podium in Brazil last season, and he's going to be looking for another one today, but he's got a lot of work to do it, and that loss of the rear is not going to help. Lucas Rowe dives down the inside as a result, but can't get the move done, and in fact loses out to Rafferrari on the exit nearly, but Rafferrari loses the rear and lost the car on the exit. Disaster for the Williams driver. That's definitely going to get him a penalty going over there. Yeah, the game's given him a 5-second penalty for corner cutting. That's a shame for him. Ace is now fighting with his teammate for P10. There's absolutely no teamwork to be seen for the two Haas drivers. There hasn't been really all season long, especially with MCL, as they come down towards turn 1. RJ has the fastest lap as they go through, but Ace is into the pits. Must be damage to him as well. That would explain his poor start to this race. So disastrous starts for Aces and Tier, as well as Sumo and Palang as well. Looks like both of them have pitted too, but it's RJ who leads by 2 seconds now. He's flying on his favourite track out there in the Alpine. Jackalacco bringing up P2 at the moment from Mr. J-Man, and Robsu up there in P4. Aces coming out the pits is going to be, I think he's going to be out in P13, just ahead of Tier, but he's now got a lot of work to do, and he's going to have to hope for a safety car. So it's Lawrence up 5 places, Alex up 6, Lucas Rowe up 4, MCL up 5, he's already up to P10 now, Lupa Korvac's up 4 as well. As RJ leads on the soft tyres. That would explain the big lead at this stage. He started on the softs. He's going to go to either the mediums or the hards to finish off this race as Alex G makes the move on Krauser, but the AlphaTauri driver's off at the final corner into the grass. I've no idea if that was self-inflicted or not, as MCL's round as well in the Haas. No idea how that's happened to him, but it's a disaster again for the Spanish driver, as now Mr. J-Man battles with Jackalacco through turn 3. Robsu battles with the defending champ as well, as they all go through. 4 drivers going down towards turn 4 here. It's 2 by 2. Lawrence trying to make it 3 wide, but backs out very, very sensibly and keeps P5. Robsu very wide at turn 4. That's going to allow Lawrence to go down the inside of 5. As they head up the hill, Lawrence backs out and Robsu down the inside. And there's position changes happening elsewhere as well. I'm not sure what happened. I've got to keep an eye on these guys. It's like Lupa up to P10 on those soft tyres in the meantime, and the Red Bull is doing a decent job, but we've got Mania fighting with Alex as well for P6 as Alex continues his recovery back up the grid to where he will feel he deserves to be. We've got a 4.5 second lead. Tears out of the race at the exit of turn 4. That's a safety car. It's good news for Aces, Sumo and Palang and MCL, but Tier is going to be gutted with that one into the wall and out of the Grand Prix on lap 4. Jackalacco takes his opportunity and dives into the pits, as does Mania. And Krauser as well. The AlphaTauri's double stacking. Rafferrari staying out, as well as Lupa and Lucas Rowe, as the safety car is out. And RJ catches up to it, and this time it should work as normal. On lap 5 of 36, RJ got really unlucky there. It came out just as he'd gone past the pit lane, and he wasn't able to get past it either on the exit. So he's going to have to head out on the softs. His 4.5 second lead reduced to smithereens, and he's going to be cursing in that cockpit because he had a great start to this Grand Prix. He was using those softs to their full effect, and now he's going to find it very, very difficult to stay with these guys. But through the final corner they head, coming on to lap 6 of 36. Long race here in Brazil. But, Lawrence up to 4th place from 10th on the grid. Alex up to P5 from 14th on the grid. Rafferrari and Lupper up to P7 as well from last place. Rafferrari and Lucas are up 5. Great starts for them. Lupper making an overtake under the safety car. That's going to cause issues. Gives the place back, but I wonder if Rafferrari is going to get himself an unfair time penalty for that one. We'll have to see. But safety car is out. RJ is the man who leads from Mr. J-Man, and Robsu up there in P3 after Jackalacco pits for the medium tyres. Is he going to try and take those to the end, I wonder, or is he just going for the faster two-stop? I think that's probably what he's going to do. He's going to go for the mediums again in the second stint, or the third stint rather, and he's going to be a lot faster overall. It's whether he can make those overtakes cleanly. That's the crux of the matter here. Mania, Krauser and MCL all thinking the same thing as well. But yeah, MCL far from out of this race. Same with Aces. He's also on 3-lap-old mediums, but essentially the same strategy as them. It's Palang and Sumo bringing up the rear as well. Safety car will be in this lap, so it's RJ who's going to set the pace at the front. As soon as that safety car is into the pit lane, he can choose to put pedal to the metal. Mr. J-Man's got to follow along and watch for when RJ decides to punch it. Safety car into the pit lane. So here we go. It's up to the American as to when he sends it. He sent it at the DRS line. He's caught Mr. J-Man napping there. Down towards turn 1. Great restart from RJ. As they head towards the start-finish line, there looked like there was contact further back. 3 wide into turn 1 between Alex, Rafferrari and Lupper. Lupper down the inside, can't quite get the move done as Alex stays ahead. We've got Lucas Rowe there as well in the Ferrari, under pressure from Jacko, who's trying to make his way through the grid. Jacko to the inside, down towards turn 4. What a camera angle this is, love it. Ace is getting past MCL, the two Hasses battling it out as usual, but it's Jacko up to P8 now as he continues his fight up the grid after pitting under that safety car. It could turn out to be a fantastic decision. It could turn out to be a terrible decision, depending on how these battles in the middle of the grid go. But he's got Lupper next on his list. Is he going to head to the inside? Yes, he is, of the next corner. He sends it on the Red Bull driver. Lupper lets him go. It's a good move from Jacko up to P7. And he is climbing slowly up the ranks. Lucas Rowe defending from Mania in the meantime. And Krauser, the two Hasses right behind as well. Aces and MCL battling it out. Mania getting past Lucas Rowe on those better tyres. Down towards turn 1. And he's made that move, and it looks like his teammate's going to follow him. Krauser around the outside on the approach to the corner, and the two Alpha Tauris are past the Ferrari as the two Hasses continue to battle. Aces going to keep the inside line on MCL, nearly takes MCL into the wall there on the exit of turn 2. No love lost between the Hasses as Aces comes down towards turn 1. Can he make this move on Lucas Rowe early on? It looks like he's going to. Down the inside he goes, and he makes it stick. Rafferrari and Jacko side by side as well. The Williams driver who's doing really well so far, but he's got nothing to match the power of those fresh mediums on Jackalacco's car, and he's up to P6, and it's Alex and then his teammate next up. In his quest, Mania getting past Lupper as well, who's on 7-lap-old softs, as RJ has already extended a 2-second lead. He's still using those softs to good effect, but Sumo's out the race, and we've got another safety car as a result. And now we've got a decision to make for those top guys. RJ surely into the pits, same with Lupper as well, and all those who haven't stopped yet. But another safety car out. Sumo has binned it in Sector 2, and he's going to be devastated with that. At least he scored a point today, that's all I'll say. he did manage to get a point in the sprint race. RJ into the pits. I am very, very surprised to see all of the top 4 staying out. Rafferrari as well staying out on those hard tyres. Really surprising that. I didn't expect that at all. But Lappa in for a new front wing as well by the looks of it, and some hard tyres for the Red Bull. And it's hard tyres for RJ as well as he looks to go to the end of this race. And fascinating strategy differences between these drivers so far. Of course, another safety car at some point in this race would kind of ruin the strategy battle, but as it stands, it's going to be fascinating to see who wins out. I would say, personally, you lose so much time on the worn tyres around this track that personally I'd say it's probably better to do the 2-stop, I would say, and go have those fresh tyres or fresher tyres for more of the race, as opposed to going hards all the way. You'll of course not have to have another pit stop, but you can but you will be very slow in those portions of the race where the 2-stoppers are on better tyres. But it is Mr. J-Man who leads this Grand Prix on those hard tyres. Robsu, Lawrence and Alex also staying out on those hards, as RJ somehow getting past Lappa again. I think that's the other way around again, actually. I think Lappa accidentally overtaking him again. Hope that doesn't cause any issues. Lucasso down to P14 after having the same idea, into the pits for the hard tyres he came. Ferrari driver looking to use those tyres to their best effect and take them to the end of this race, but I'm really not sure. I do think double medium is better, but we'll wait and see. As it's Mr. J-Man who leads from Robsu, Lawrence and Alex all on the hard tyres, and then Chakalako on those fresher medium tyres. He's a very, very dangerous driver on that grid at the moment, not in terms of taking people out, but in terms of overtaking. Everyone in the top 5 is going to see him in P5 and they're going to think, uh-oh, Scottish menace in the Aston Martin. Quick look at the standings. Jacko only 7 points behind Aces in the driver's standings, sitting in P3 at the moment, so a huge, huge opportunity for him today to perhaps take the championship lead again. He had it after Imola earlier this season, and then he lost it again, hasn't had it again since. But here we go. We're about to get started again. It's Mr. J-Man who's going to lead us off this time, and he doesn't catch Robsu napping like RJ did to him last time, as we've got places being taken. MCL into the pits. MCL into the pits. He's hit Aces and broken his front wing, and he's taken damage. Has the Spaniard. He's gotten a 5-second penalty as well, which he's going to have to serve, and it's just disaster after disaster after disaster for MCL today, and it's a disaster for RJ as well, as he's down to 13th place after some sort of incident or spin or something for the American. He's down into the back of the grid, and he's got a lot of catching up to do once again now. MCL into the pits, just about exiting now on those hard tyres again. He is going to be fuming with today's proceedings. It has not gone his way at all, as here comes Mr. J-Man through Sector 2, still leading this race. Jacko hasn't made any moves quite yet. He's got Alex to dispatch next up. Sumo in the chat saying that he thought MCL would hit Aces. Yeah, it did look that way, didn't it? It looked like that was probably going to happen at some point. Lappa just sliding around the last corner there as RJ comes up behind Palang in the Alpine. Can he make any sort of move? No DRS, of course, yet, but he's already caught back up to that Williams as Ferrari and Mania swap places. Great overtake from the AlphaTauri driver. Ferrari tries to get the better exit, though, and does. Krauser and Aces also battling out just behind them. Aces to the inside. He's going to have the inside for turn 4 as well. It's a great move from Aces. He's already passed before the braking zone. He's up to P8, and the championship leader trying to charge his way back up. He has had no end of misfortune so far today, so he's going to be hoping to put that to an end for the rest of this race. Hello to Speed in the chat. Hope you're doing well too, mate. Good to see you. As Mr. J-Man under pressure from Robsu at the front. Jacko not able to make any progress yet. Those mediums starting to hurt a little bit. Well, not hurt, but not in their best condition anymore as he heads towards the last corner. And isn't able to use them to their full effect anymore. Mania sticking with them as well. We've got a big train at the front of the field. Love this track. Me too, Aces. It's such a good circuit as RJ makes his way past Palang and up to P12. 2 seconds behind the pack. He's not that far behind at all. There's still plenty of opportunities for the American in this Grand Prix as Aces loses the rear on the exit of turn 1 as he fights with Ferrari, and now under pressure from Luke Hester on the exit. He's lost the position to Krauser. He's going to have to try again. We've got overtakes happening at the front of the field, though. It's Lawrence getting past Robsu and Mr. J-Man down towards turn 4. I missed that double overtake from the defending champ, and he's into P1. He absolutely destroyed the field in Miami last week. He's leading again here as Mr. J-Man goes wide again. Alex round the outside of the next corner. Can he make that move stick? Jacko looking as well. Is going to be nearly 3 wide into the next corner. Jacko backs out sensibly. Alex to the inside, but J-Man's going to have the inside at the next corner. Alex a bit of a squirm on the exit as well, and just about stays ahead, but Jacko down the inside to the last corner. What a move from the Scottish driver up to P5, but Alex using ERS to come back at him. Is that wise? I don't know, but he's going to do it anyway. Mania just behind him as well. Jacko, here we go, to the outside of Mr. J-Man, using that ERS to pull alongside down towards turn 1. He's got the inside for turn 2 if he can hold it, and does. Up to P3 for Jackalacco as he continues this recovery. Aces is round at the final corner. RJ's round as well. I've no idea what's happened there. Or maybe he was... No, because he lost the position to Palang, so he definitely went round. No idea what happened there. But Mania... Oh no, Krauser into the wall at the exit of turn 4. He's out. We've got another safety car. This race is absolute chaos in Tier 2. Absolutely no idea what is going on. There's action all over the grid. There's incidents, there's overtakes. No idea where to look. Krauser's out of the race. I don't know where that happened, but he's going to be gutted with that. I don't know if he lost it or if had an incident or something. But it's going to bring MCL back into the race. It's going to bring Aces back in as well. But the two Hasses again are going to be together in 12th and 13th this time. RJ there in P11 looking to fight his way back up still. But everyone back in this race. Another safety car ruining the strategy battle. Although not really. Everyone's got a decision to make again here. Even those drivers like Jacko who pitted for the mediums earlier, Jacko's in as well as Lawrence. It's going to be a double stack for Aston Martin, and Jacko is going to get absolutely shafted here. He could lose 3 or 4 positions. Mr. J-Man and Lucastro stay out as well as Lapa, so they're going to be leading the way. But Lawrence onto the soft tyres. Here comes Jacko following him into the box, but how many positions is he going to lose? Out he comes on pit exit. Where's he going to end up? It's going to be P8. Jacko onto the soft tyres now. That loses, I think, 2 positions there. Yeah, he's lost position to Alex and Mania. And he's down into 8th place. Disaster for him. Well, not a disaster, but a setback. A setback, I would say. He's got plenty more work to do, as has everyone in this Grand Prix, it seems, so far. And, well, What twists and turns are we yet to see in this race, I wonder? MCL out onto the soft tyres. He's going to catch back up once again to the rest of the pack. He's going to have yet another opportunity to correct the mistakes that have happened so far to him. But it is Mr. J-Man who leads. He's the only driver who hasn't stopped yet, which doesn't really bode well. 15 lap-old hard tyres are not going to hold up well against fresh softs and mediums, just 3 places below him. Lucas Rowe and Lappa also on hards, a little bit less worn. So I'm trying to pay attention to 3 things at once. That's what happens when I stutter at any point. But RJ also in for back onto the hard tyres that he was on earlier. So he's again going to try and catch up to the rest of the pack. Hit the clutch instead of brake lap 1. Oh no, and then hit the wall at 10 miles per hour after giving a second chance. Yeah, it happens, Sumo, that those death walls, doesn't matter how slowly you hit them, your wheel just explodes. At least you scored a point in the sprint. That's what I can say. You did manage to get a point today, but yeah, I reckon you would have been hoping for a little bit more than that. Safety car in this lap though, and it's going to be Mr. J-Man who leads off on those old, aging, hard tyres. Just ahead of Lucas Rowe, who's going to have to try and read this restart. Lappa's there as well, going to ride on board with the Red Bull driver as they head down towards turn 1. And Mr. J-Man's gone for it. Lappa trying to make a move on Lucas Rowe, but he can't do it before the start-finish line. He just about manages to stay behind before the start-finish line, and he stays there down towards turn 1, and Lappa makes the move stick in the Red Bull. Lucas Rowe, though, still with him on the inside of turn 3. And turn 2, sorry, outside of 3, and they head towards 4, still side by side, but Lawrence trying to get both of them down the middle for the defending champion. What a move from Lawrence around the outside of Lappa. Move of the race from Lawrence D up to P2 on those soft tyres. Lucas Rowe and Lappa still side by side behind as Robsu tries to find his way past as they both go wide. They both go wide at turn 6. Lucas Rowe off the track. Lappa down to P5, down to P6, is struggling on those hard tyres. Why, oh why did they stay out? And Jacko up to P5 as well. Robsu back onto the podium. J-Man already losing out to Lawrence, and he's going to lose out a whole lot more. Why on earth would you not pit under that safety car? And now he's going to be absolutely swamped here down towards turn 1. Robsu's going to have the pace. He gets too much on the curb there on that straight though. I don't know how much time that's going to lose him. Lappa again losing places due to those aging tyres. Can he get through turn 1 safely? Lappa, yeah, just about hitting the apex. Aces on the inside of the next corner. Lappa wide on the exit. Palang all the way around the outside as well. Lappa loses another spot to MCL. He's down to P11. And honestly, Lappa and Lucas Rowe, so Lappa goes down the inside of MCL actually for turn 4, but obviously with those tyres it's not going to work. But I think Lappa, Lucas Rowe and soon Mr. J-Man, they've only really got themselves to blame for this. They stayed out when everyone else stops onto fresh tyres, and it just is not the call. Mr. J-Man, surely he's going to come in soon. He's got to, in the next few laps, get on some fresh tyres, try and get an undercut while everyone else is fighting. That's his only hope, but surely those mediums will make it to the end. So he's just running on borrowed time here as the McLaren. MCL making another spot past Palang as he goes for his third recovery drive of the day, possibly fourth, as J-Man loses another spot. It's going to be 2 spots actually. Jacko trying to get past as well into P4. They're going to be 3 wide. J-Man sends it into turn 1, backs out just before the apex, and Jacko up to P4. Alex into the top 3 again after his heartbreak in the sprint, but he's got an angry Jackalacko just behind him, and Jacko sends it to the inside of turn 4, and that's easily move made as Mania tries to make it past the struggling J-Man. Next up, this McLaren is going to be just cannon fodder for all the cars behind him. Ferrari is just there trying to make a move as well. MCL as well, don't forget about him, and Aces, the championship leader, and his teammate just there as well. Aces on those soft tyres, sorry, MCL on those soft tyres, Aces on those 6-lap hold hard, so he's going to find it a lot more difficult here. RJ's in the mix as well on those hard tyres as Mania gets his way past, no he doesn't get his way past Mr. J-Man, not quite. Ferrari now gets overtaken by MCL into the last corner, but gets a beautiful switchback. MCL loses the rear slightly on exit, but Ferrari's just about there. He keeps that ERS planted. MCL's not got anything left. Ferrari cuts the corner. Mr. J-Man's into the pits finally. He gives in on those hard tyres, and Ferrari forcing MCL a bit onto the grass there as they go into turn 1. I don't think MCL will be happy about that one, but Ferrari's taking advantage, and he's down the inside of Mania down towards turn 4 now. This race is chaos. We've got Palang and MCL side by side as well. The 2 Hasses again going wheel to wheel, but MCL stays ahead. Ace is just about there. I cannot keep up with everything that's going on right now. Lawrence leads by 2.5 seconds, by the way, on those soft tyres. Robsu up there in P2. What a drive he is having as well. Jack Lacko and Alex as well doing very, very well, respectively. Lupper very wide there on those hard tyres as he learns the braking points because he can't be asked to do any practice. But MCL and Aces again. MCL now to the inside of Palang. Palang lets him go well before the corner, and he is ahead. I've got to read what Tia said. There's been so much action, I haven't been able to catch up with any of the comments. You keep thinking Luca is Luca Rapassa. Oh, yeah. If the man in question gets past RJ for P10, as Mania and Ferrari now swap places. The AlphaTauri driver up to P5 again after Ferrari got him on the previous lap. Is the Williams going to get him again down towards turn 4 though? He's going to have the DRS, but I don't think he's close enough, although Mania out of ERS, and Ferrari will now know that he's vulnerable. Have a quick look at penalties. It's 3 seconds to Ferrari and 3 seconds to Lupper, but nothing else on the board. RJ making it past Lucas Rowe now, down towards P10. Lucas Rowe just behind, but not able to make the move as RJ nearly bins it through turn 7. Just about holds on, but Lucas will sense his opportunities, but all these, both these drivers on very unfavourable tyre compounds right now. Lawrence leads by 3 seconds in the meantime. As Jacko chases down Robsu. Can he get within that DRS? No, and I think it's too late, as Alex is now going to have the DRS on him, and Alex will be in the middle of the DRS trying by the looks of it. Jacko does not want to be at the back of this 3-car train for P2, but it looks like he might be. But Alex doesn't send it into turn 1, and that was going to be a brilliant opportunity for Alex. I think that's just a little bit of racing. To use MCL's phrase from last week that he used somewhat erroneously, racing IQ for Alex. I think if that were me, I would have gotten that overtake done and used that DRS. And Ferrari gets his way past Mania, who goes very wide into turn 4 and loses the place to MCL as well, who's now found his way into the top 6. Everything's gone wrong for him today, but now he's back in the race. Palang sends it on Mania in towards that corner. Why I do not know. That's a different question. But Palang does send it, and he sends it again into the next corner. Predictably, there is contact. Palang is going to be in the mud for that one in the steward's room. Why, oh why people are sending it into those corners at this stage of the Grand Prix, I will never ever know. They do it every time on Brazil, and every single time it goes wrong. It's just common sense, guys. Come on, stop sending it into those corners. It doesn't work. MCL now, though, on the outside of Ferrari for P5 in the Haas, and it looks like he's got that done before the braking zone, and he continues his charge, does the Spaniard, into the top 5. Ferrari now up to 6 seconds of track limits penalties. That's a shame for him because he's having a brilliant race so far, and in fact he's not done. He's down the inside of MCL for turn 4. MCL lets him go, and Ferrari back into the top 5 again, but this Haas is going to stay with him. And those soft tyre runners, they've got a bit of a problem here. They've got 13 and a half laps left to go. They've got to do 21 laps. It can be done. It can be done on the soft tyres, but goodness me, they are going to be horrible by the end of this race, and the mediums are going to be much, much better. So I think those on mediums have the best chance here. Alex and Robsu, keep an eye on those two, I think. That's what I would say in this race. We've got yellow flags in Sector 2. That's Lupper around in the Red Bull and into the wall, backing as well. Spinning on the grass, just about gets the traction back under control. Alex gets past Jacko. MCL gets back past Ferrari as well. Can the Williams driver get back past into turn 4? Remains to be seen, but gets a poor exit out of turn 2, and that's not going to be enough, I don't think, unless he uses all his ERS here. MCL's got barely any left, so it's far from over. Lupper retires from the session and causes another safety car. And that is music to the ears of the soft tyre runners, because everyone's now going to go onto the softs, and everyone will be equal again. I don't know how Lupper's managed to bin it there, but bin it he has done. And that's going to be another safety car in this race, which will neutralise things again. But Robsu and Alex are going to be annoyed about that, because we're in a fantastic position until now. But now everyone should come into the softs and equalise the whole grid. That's what I would expect anyway. It's great news for the two Aston Martins and for MCL, as they no longer have to take those softs all the way to the end. That's unlucky too. Yeah, these things happen. Lawrence into the pits. Robsu into the pits. Alex into the pits. Jacko in. Everyone's going to be in here. Ferrari in. Aces. Palang stays out. That is going to be very problematic for everyone else who's now got to get past him. Mr. J-Man should be in as well. And by the way, talking to Mr. J-Man, he's gone onto the mediums, and now he's back in this race after staying out under the safety car, but he's given himself an awful lot of work to do. Lawrence onto the mediums. He's seen what happened in the sprint. He's seen that the mediums can be better, but what's happened here, he has completely, I think, because this has happened to me before on this track, I think Lawrence has just not been paying attention there and nearly gone straight into the back of Palang as they slow for the safety car, and he is extremely lucky to get away with that, is the defending champ. He sits in P2 on the medium tyres. Jackalacco again losing out thanks to the double stack, and he's now behind MCL, which he's going to be absolutely delighted with, sarcasm intended. These two have had their differences in recent weeks, it's safe to say. And here they are together again on track. Ferrari 6 seconds of penalties are going to be very, very costly by the looks of things due to this late safety car, which is a shame. He's driven very, very well today. But another safety car in this race. We're going to have 11 more laps in this race. Lupper, please don't bring up things that I've told you are not going to happen weeks ago. And I've told you why they're not going to happen as well. What's the next track? It's Hungary. We'll review. But it's just like it's difficult for us because you clearly have pace with no line. You've shown it several times already. It's just the fact that you can't be asked to practice doesn't really help, you know? Because it just means that this happens every race. It feels like you're not trying and you just want us to make you go back online. Again, to be completely blunt with you, mate, it feels like you're deliberately not trying so that we give you line back. So, you know. But here we go. Palang is going to be leading this race on 12-lap old medium tyres. And Lawrence has got to watch him to see when he restarts. And it's a brilliant restart from the Canadian. Fantastic restart. Lawrence 6/10 behind. He's not going to get the move done into turn 1. But surely Palang's going to be under pressure as early as sector 2 in this lap. As they all head through turn 1, we've got Rafferrari trying to make moves. Jackalacco back up to P6 as Rafferrari nearly got him into turn 1, but had to back out. And here comes Jacko on his arch nemesis. MCL looks to the outside, looks to the inside, decides against it, and Rafferrari goes into the back of him into turn 4. Just about both getting away with it. I don't know if there's damage to that Williams, but Jacko would have had a heart in his mouth there when he felt that contact. But now Lawrence to the inside of Palang into the next corner. He's made it work. Palang goes deep, and he is going to plummet down the grid now. In the next few laps, Alex is going to be the next one to make a move and gets it done. It's one of the few times that you can send it into those corners when the gap is already there and you're already looking alongside and threatening. But if you're not threatening and you just send it, it doesn't work. But Alex makes it work perfectly well there as he was already there on the inside. Take notes, everyone. Robsu now looking for the move on Lawrence for the race lead on lap 28.36 down the inside for turn 1, and Robsu gets into the lead of the Brazilian Grand Prix. It's just like the old Robsu again, the Finnish driver into the lead. It's been a long time since we've seen him here, and it's great to see it, but Lawrence, the defending champ, back at him around the outside of turn 4, but Robsu keeps his foot in, sends it down the inside, and keeps the place as Jackalacco and Palang now battling. Jacko trying to make that move on the struggling Williams down the inside of turn 6 it's going to be, and Jacko makes it work. Rafferrari, his teammate's going to be next up in the other Williams. He's going to look to the outside, and it's going to be the inside of the next corner. Oh no, there's contact. Rafferrari has sent Palang round as he tried to look to the inside. Palang was not letting it happen. Rafferrari looked there anyway, stuck his nose in, and he spun Palang around. I think the stewards are going to be very, very busy for this race, unfortunately. Aces now is going to use ERS to get past the Williams. MCL's back at the back of the grid again. What happened to MCL? He's at the back again. He's pitted again, and it's just another disaster in a series of disasters today for MCL. And this time it doesn't look like there's going to be another safety car to save him. But with this race, who knows at this point? As Lucas Rowe now looks to the inside of Rafferrari, makes that move up to P7 for the Ferrari. And he's got the championship leader just ahead of him now. Mania looking to follow through on that Williams. Ferrari struggling for pace at the end, the final stint of this Grand Prix. Palang down to P11 after that spin. MCL going to have to just try and get fastest lap in this one. It's been a complete and utter abomination of a race for him. But it's Robsu who leads from Lawrence. But those mediums are going to come better towards the end of the Grand Prix in the last few laps. But for now, it's all about the softs as Alex tries to find his way through as well. He had, like I said, he had a podium at this track last season after a run of bad form. He's had a run of bad form at the moment, and it looks like history is going to repeat itself for now. But here comes Lawrence to the inside of Robsu. Absolutely goes for it. Robsu's going to have the inside for turn 2, inside for turn 3 for Lawrence, and they're still side by side as they go round. Lawrence just about leaving enough room. Robsu back ahead as they head towards turn 4. Let's have a look at the ERS. It's a huge advantage to Lawrence in that department. And look who's back into P4. The American RJ, who it looked like was outdone and dusted in this race several times already today. He's up into the top 4 again and challenging for a podium once more. The sprint race winner, looking to reclaim where he will feel he deserves to be. His ace is there as well. The championship leader has not given in. It's not been one of his finest races, but he's still in the top 6 and fighting along in that front pack. It's a 7-car train to P1 right now. Lucas Rowe at the back of it, but with a time penalty. So we'll be hoping that the DRS brings him out of that 3-second range of Mania. Who's looking for P7 in the meantime, as Lawrence and Robsu once again change positions, but this time it's Lawrence who keeps the place up to P1 with that DRS, but Robsu's going to be back at him down towards turn 4. He's using more ERS. I think it's going to be a waste though. He may get the place now, but there's still 5.5 laps left to run in this race, and Lawrence is conserving. He's playing the smarter game right now. And he's going to be at a huge advantage in the last couple of laps in this Grand Prix, not just on ERS, but also on tyres, on those mediums. Going to be looking much, much better than the softs in the last few laps as well. Alex just about staying in DRS range, but those top 2 threatening to break out of 1 second at every corner here. RJ as well threatening Alex, but the Mercedes just about keeping that all-important DRS for now. The detection point on the exit of this corner, and Alex does keep the DRS, so RJ is going to find it difficult, especially with only 20% ERS, although Alex has a similar amount. And Lawrence and Robsu once again change positions. Lawrence up to P1, Robsu down to 2nd place. And the defending champ looks to take the championship lead today. As it stands, he would do exactly that. And as he looks to try and defend his title this season after it went so badly. The first half of the season was a disaster for him as RJ sends it into turn 4 on Alex, and there's contact and RJ's out. RJ's out of the race. We do have another safety car in this race. Right before the end, I think it was just a bit of oversteer for Alex. RJ's going to be absolutely gutted in that Alpine. He does not deserve that in the slightest, but I don't think there was anything meant by it. It was just a squirm from Alex on the exit of turn 4, and RJ was sent straight into the wall. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. This is going to be a busy, busy few days for the stewards. But the safety car, I think this benefits Robsu more because he's going to be able to conserve tyres. He's going to be able to get his ERS back up as well. So Lawrence, who looked like he was all but certain to take the race win here, now is going to be under pressure in the last few laps. So 3.5 laps left to go in this race. Safety car is out. It should be in at the end of lap 34. We've got Mr. J-Man, Palang and MCL into the pits. MCL, for the umpteenth time tonight, is back in the race. Is going to go on to another set of softs. Are they fresh? No, they're not, because he's pitted so many times already. 3 laps old. But Mr. J-Man and Palang are going to be in a very good position here. They're on fresh softs. Everyone ahead of them 8 laps old. MCL not too bad either, but he still has to deal with a bit of wear on those tyres. But this is going to be a fascinating end to this race. Probably just as chaotic as the last 33 laps have been. It's been, as a commentator, it's been incredibly exciting. As a league owner, goodness me, guys, these driving standards today have not been up to par. It's not been a good day today. But Lawrence won't care as long as he can secure this race win. But Robsu, Alex, his teammate Jacko are all going to be in the mix. Aces as well. Don't forget about the championship leader. He doesn't want to lose that championship lead today. As it stands, he would. But there's going to be 2 laps of green flag racing. There's an opportunity for that to change. So J-Man, Palang and MCL catch up to the rest of the grid. J-Man and Palang, but especially I think J-Man, are going to be one to watch. They're going to be sending it into every corner. I guarantee it. Probably going to be another incident before the end of this one. Wouldn't be surprised in the slightest. But 2 laps to go. Lawrence is going to lead the way for the 17 billionth safety car restart of the evening. Lawrence, who's leaving it very late here for the restart. He's going to finally go right before the start-finish line. There it is. He's caught Robsu just about, but everyone's just behind. Jackalaka already making a move on Alex down towards turn 1. They're side by side. Alex keeps the place, though, and they continue to go through. 2 more laps to go in this Grand Prix. Absolute chaos at Brazil today, as Aces now looks to make the move on Jacko, the championship leader, on his Constructors' Championship rival to the outside of turn 4, but Jacko keeps the place. Very nice driving between both of them there as they go through towards turn 6. Aces can't quite make the move here, can't quite make the move in 7 either. He sends it at 8 though, and Jacko leaves the space just about. But Aces is not going to get that to work. We've got 1 and a bit more laps to go. Lucas Rowe looks to the inside of Aces as well on the exit, but can't quite get that move done. The Ferrari trying to find any kind of progress here in these last few laps. MCL getting past Mania and J-Man down to P11. That's a huge shock. He's into the back of Mania as well. That's damage. Surely Aces is round. The championship leaders round. Lucas Rowe losing places. Ferrari and him into the wall as well. They've both been reset to track forcefully. It's been an absolute disaster of racing standards today, but it's Robsu who's not going to care. If he can get this race win, he's gone and past Lawrence into turn 1 on the final lap of the Grand Prix. Alex and Jacko fighting for 3rd as well, just behind. Robsu right ahead of Lawrence, who can't quite make the move into turn 1. He's not going to have DRS either. Down towards the final start-finish line. Jacko getting past Alex into turn 4. The Mercedes trying to make a move back up past him, but can't quite do it. Both of them very low on ERS. Robsu pretty low as well. Lawrence has got plenty left. He's got the advantage. He just needs a good exit out the final corner, and he's still favourite to win this race. But Robsu's got the track position. Here we go, down to the final few corners. Lucas Rowe gets himself another time penalty. Robsu down towards the final corner. Lawrence right behind him. What can the Aston Martin do? He's going to press that button for all it's worth, but does he have enough track left to make the move? Robsu's out of ERS. Here comes Lawrence. Can Robsu hold on? It's going to be all the way to the line. It's going to be a drag race. It's going to be a photo finish, and it's Robsu who takes the race win by 63 thousandths of a second. Jack Alacco finishes P3. It's a double podium for Aston Martin. Alex in P4 in the end. Palang somehow manages to finish P5. MCL somehow manages to finish P6. Well, it's Robsu who takes the race win ahead of Lawrence and Jacko in the Aston Martins. Alex finishes P4, Palang in 5th, MCL somehow P6 with fastest lap, Mania in P7, J-Man down in P8 in the end, Aces after that spin at the end P9, Rafferari and Luke Castro in 10th and 11th after their own spins, DNS for RJ, Lupper, Krauser, Sumo and Tier, and I mean, any of that could easily change after stewards. Don't take any of those places for granted. We will have interviews in a minute or so stick around. Alright, let's get the interview room ready.
Hello.
Hello to Giaco. We're just waiting for Lawrence and Robsu.
Lawrence is just coming.
Okay.
That was something.
It was one of the races of all time.
In a good way or a bad way? Or both?
Both.
Yeah, I heard a lot in the party chat that it was in.
Well, I think we've got everyone in. So first I will come to Robsu. What a victory. It's... let me double check this stat. It's your first victory in APPF1 since Saudi Arabia last season. That was round 3. But must feel great to be back on the top step.
Yeah, it's been a while, but yeah, I mean, absolutely feels great.
Yeah, I mean, what a race from your perspective. There was a lot of recovery drives, a lot of moves having to be made by everyone today. No one had a boring race, that's certainly for sure. But talk us through your one. I mean, the sprint was pretty good from your end as well, and then, of course, the race win. But yeah, how did that all go for you?
Well, yeah, the race was pretty good actually. Well, although it was challenging because I knew I didn't have the speed on straight lines everybody else had, so I knew my chances are gonna be somewhere, in sector 2, maybe sector 1. So it was challenging, but I knew what I was into it basically. But am I forgetting something? I'm not sure.
Well,
yeah, I don't know. I'm still kinda shaking, and my hands are sweating and hurting. And
yeah, I don't blame you at all. But I mean, you've got plenty of support from your Finnish countrymen in the chat. So congratulations on the win. And well, I hope this, because there was shades of season 8 Robsu today. So I hope I hope we can have a return.
I hope to. Yeah.
Well done, Robsu. Great to
Thank
see
you.
you back. So second place in the end. He's going to be pretty disappointed with second after a wild race, which is crazy to say, but I would imagine you're pretty disappointed. But still, a good result for you today, Lawrence.
No, I'm not disappointed with how the main race went, considering my disaster of the sprint race. I would take P2 all day long. Congratulations to Rob Sue. The only regret I got about that race is just not sending it back on turn 4 in the last lap, because that would have sealed the win. The opportunity was there, but I thought I'd just go for the slipstream race down the back straight.
Well, I mean, before that last safety car, it seemed like you had the upper hand. You would have been on the better tyres with more ERS as well. Did you feel the same way, or and were you annoyed to see that final safety car come out, or did you think that it was basically a shootout anyway?
I was annoyed when the last safety car came out. I think me and Rob Sue was quite comfortably going to duel together anyway. But yeah, it just the safety car. I think that was 4 or 5 times it came out today. Just completely, there was just no rhythm to the race at all. Which yeah, I was fortunate enough to have a clean enough race anyway. I don't think I had anything go against me. Yeah, it was just a very disappointing sprint race. I will publicly apologise to Sumo. I know we give each other a bit of grief, but I've privately apologised to him in his DMs as well. So he's got that hanging over me for the rest of my life. So.
Well, That's very good of you to apologise to him straight away. But I didn't see it myself, but we'll probably see it in the stewards later. But nonetheless, a brilliant recovery in the main race. Not that anyone didn't have a recovery to do at some point in that race, but even so, great drive. And congratulations on P2. I don't know how the standings will look after this one, but I think you're leading the championship now. So a silver lining after the sprint. But yeah, well done, Lawrence.
Yeah, thank you, Ghost. The controversy is never too far away at Brazil in Tier 2. So.
I mean, yeah. Alright, on to P3, Jack Alaco, Lawrence's teammate. For a long time, it looked like you were in contention for the race win in this race, and then it just got away from you in the last sort of 6-7 laps or so, even before the safety car. But still, P3, a good result today.
Yeah, it's the safety cars didn't really help me, to be honest. Then, out of the 5 safety cars, they all came at a bad time for me. So to get third if it's quite good, and I don't know, I had to make a bazillion overtakes that race just to get back up to third.
Yeah, well, it was a great performance from yourself despite that, and a good drive in the sprint race as well, which I think is the championship is going to be quite close actually because of that sprint. I'm not sure if you or Lawrence are leading, but it's one of you. But nonetheless, chaos in both races. But I mean, were there any moves that stood out to you today that you were quite proud of, or was it just did it all just blend together?
There were actually quite a few. There was around the outside of Lepa at turn 4. That was quite a good one. I think I don't know what turn it is. It's like the left-hander that kind of goes downhill then back uphill, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's got the camber. I went round the outside of Lucas there, not Lucas, Lepa or someone. I went round the outside of someone there, and when MCL got his front wing damage at the safety car restart, I knew I had to kind of get past him. So I think it's the corner just after that left-hander. I just not dive-bobbed him, but I sent it on him, and knowing that he'd go wide with his wind damage. So quite a few good ones in that.
Well, sounds like it was fun despite all the carnage for you.
I didn't really have to be fair, like on-track carnage, I didn't really have much. I kind of just kept out of it, and when I made my moves, I made them clean. So
I think the same can be said for all three of you. So well done to all three of you today. I think the 3 drivers with the best performances have ended up on the podium, which you can't say every week. So well done to the 3 of you.
And can I just say you're welcome for the 2 points in the prediction table, because I know you predicted me third.
Ah, yes. Much needed. Thank you very much.
So I take it back what I said this morning about how you cursed me. And you actually predicted it bang on, so.
Oh, yeah, much needed. I'm like 12 points behind Sumo.
I only got you the 1 point. I was just fractionally away from her.
Oh, well. Well, anyways, thank you, Jacko, and congrats for P3.
Thank you.
So, well done to our 3 podium scorers. I think driver of the day today goes to Robsu from me, just for finishing P1. But it could easily go to any of the 3 of you. Well done today. But without further ado, I have some league admin stuff to do, as you can probably imagine after that race. So I'm going to sign off pretty quickly from this one. I've been Ghost. We'll be back next week for Hungary, in theory, and I will see you then. Goodbye, everyone.